Good evening and happy Saturday to you. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a check of the First Alert forecast on Atlanta News First Plus. Lot to talk about, but all good news in the forecast. We have a warm up on the way, and we do have eventually an increasing chance of rain. And believe it or not, as gloomy and cold as parts of really much of the area has been over the past month, still technically some of us drier than average. In fact, technically also some drought conditions developing across portions of eastern Alabama, Cleveland, Randolph counties, and portions of Georgia. So all that to say, the rain chances we do have in the extended forecast, not bad news, especially after all the warm weather that we have coming up here over the next 7, possibly 10 or more days. Going to go ahead and take you live outside. It's a gorgeous one out there. Temperature is cooling back. After highs in the mid-upper 60s, we are no longer there. Temperatures out back in the 50s, but it's still a nice evening. Yeah, we were warmer this afternoon, and the sunshine felt absolutely great. A little chillier right now. Temperature, though, 4 degrees warmer than last night, though I do think we'll drop back closer to pretty much the same span that we were this time yesterday, about 24 hours ago. This is just at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, of course. Typically, the airport, one of the warmest spots around the area, and tonight no different. LJ already back to 40, 57 in Atlanta, but 50 just a few miles down the road in Covington. South of town, Griffin 46, 48 LaGrange, 49 Carrollton, 51 in Eatonton. So by and large, the city of Atlanta, at least our official thermometer, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, is warmer than everyone else. Still, though, a nice evening. Sophia Graham asking what's going on. Not too much out there. We have some really nice weather ahead in the First Alert forecast, near record warmth, and at least to start, that comes with quite a bit of sunshine. Carol saying, yippee, so excited about the warm weather. Carol, glad you're enjoying it. If you didn't get out today, much more warm weather to be enjoyed over the next several days. And then Psycho Space Cadet is the avatar on YouTube. It's going to be unseasonably warm. Absolutely. In fact, we will approach record high temperatures as we get into the kind of Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Not necessarily that we will hit that record, but we will get close. Angela Moore, hello to you. Thanks for tuning in and for watching. And if you're streaming on maybe Roku, Amazon Fire, Fire Stick should say, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, First Alert Weather app, Atlanta News First app. First of all, thanks for watching. But 2 places that you can ask your weather questions, and one of those places I'm chatting with folks right now, that is Atlanta News First on YouTube. That's the account that we're streaming out on. We'd love a like and a follow. That way you can be buzzed and alerted to breaking news streams or weather updates like this one. You can also just text us, 470-777-9263. That's 470-777-WANF. Chan McKinney, hello to you. Good evening. Happy Saturday. Vanessa Smith, good evening to you as well. Saying the weather in Atlanta will be nice and beautiful next week. So is Memphis, Tennessee. Weather is especially nice and beautiful, she is saying over there, and it is. And regionally, from Memphis all the way back to Atlanta, we're all going to have a stunning rest of the weekend and really a nice work week. Eventually, rain chances back in the First Alert forecast, but rather low. Doesn't look too impactful. And in general, again, a pretty decent 7 to 10 day stretch here across North Georgia. Low temperatures tonight. So this is what you're going to be experiencing, what you will be feeling about maybe 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning if you're up and out and trying to get out early tomorrow. There are some upper 30s out there, but technically that's warmer than it should be in those spots. Case in point, Atlanta's average low tomorrow morning is 36 at Hartsfield-Jackson. Not tomorrow morning, though. We're going to be 42. 40 Griffin, 40 Thomaston, upper 30s LJ over to Blairsville, many of our mountain communities, Blue Ridge, Ivy Log, Clayton up in Raven County, Hayesville up in Clay County, North Carolina. Many up there waking up to 30s, but it should be in the upper 20s to near 30 flat as far as a low temperature this time of year. So even though chilly enough, cold enough for a jacket, it's still warmer than it should be. And we're not there long. Temperatures recovering nicely thanks to all that sunshine, dry air. Those 2 ingredients, the fact that the air is dry, we have so much sunshine tomorrow, temperatures will rebound pretty quickly and substantially heading into tomorrow afternoon. By noon, temperatures back in the mid-upper 50s. Keep in mind that temperature will be taken in the shade, so it'll feel warmer than that in the sunshine, probably feeling easily like the 60s if you're sitting in direct sun. With actual temperatures, again, these taken in the shade, back in the 60s by the time we get to 3, 4 or so o'clock in the afternoon. And high temperatures tomorrow will be in the mid to upper 60s. A few folks not far from 70 degrees. Case in point, LaGrange. Your forecast high temperature tomorrow is 69. Griffin, 66, lots of sunshine. LJ, Helen, it'll be cooler. You all were cooler today as well. You're chillier this evening than everyone else, and this afternoon you were chillier than everyone as well. Tomorrow, though, a warm up for everybody. Atlanta, maybe just a couple of degrees warmer. Also, a bigger jump up in our temperature for LJ, Helen, our mountain communities, mostly in the 50s up there. If you're planning on spending the day on Lake Lanier tomorrow, not bad. Lots of sunshine, light breezes. Temperature's kind of cool, but for first couple of days of February, sort of jaunt on the lake, certainly not at all bad. Don't get in the water; it's absolutely freezing. Water temperature is very, very cold, but outside in the sunshine, upper 50s, near 60, not too bad, especially with the breezes remaining pretty light tomorrow. Nice day to get outside. Even if you are headed up to Lake Lanier, not necessarily a weekend for water sports, but a nice weekend to get out. Case in point, if you're headed to Zoo Atlanta tomorrow, hard to ask for better or nicer weather. With temperatures back in the upper 50s to near 60 by noon, afternoon span of the day is going to be great. 2 thumbs up for just about anything outdoors. Back up to 64 by 2, 66 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, a wonderful day is ahead of us, and it's going to be a great Sunday to get outside. And if you can't get outside tomorrow, no worries. Another check of that First Alert 7-day forecast in just a moment, but want to talk about rain chances here. Of course, rain tends to be the most impactful for the outdoor plans, and we're dry. We're good to go. No worries. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Some subtle changes, though, but something we're going to need to watch as we get into the next week. We know it's warming up. In fact, temperatures, as mentioned at the beginning, the top of this stream will be near record, but initially dry. But then we kind of get more clouds. It gets a little bit more muggy. And we're going to bring in some low-end rain chances here, maybe 20-30% during the days, at least, starting Wednesday. That creeps up Thursday. In fact, as we get into Thursday night and early Friday morning, next little weather maker, so to speak, approaches North Georgia. And we'll cool it back just a bit, maybe 74, 75 versus 76 on Tuesday with more sunshine. But the peak rain chance will be late Thursday night into the early hours Friday morning, followed by cooler weather as we get into the weekend. Now, if this system trends a little faster, we have to boost the rain chance kind of daytime Thursday, or if it trends slower, and it looks like your Friday morning commute is going to be slowed by rain, much like the commute yesterday evening, then we may have to give you the first alert. Give it a first alert and a heads up that, hey, rain may slow your commute, rain may impact your plans, but right now timing is such that the greatest rain chance, the most impactful rain will sweep through while everyone's sleeping Thursday night into Friday morning. And then behind that little front, that little storm system, temperatures do trend just a bit cooler as we get into next weekend. Not cold, but cooler. Again, I want to say thank you to Sophia, Carol, Psycho Space Cadet. That's the avatar we're chatting with on YouTube. Angela, Vanessa, and Chan, thank you all for commenting on YouTube. In fact, we may going to switch over the chat thread there. It doesn't look like we have any new comments, but if you do have a weather question, 2 places we're streaming right now where we can chat back and forth, make it a true conversation. One of those is YouTube. Atlanta News First is the account that we're streaming on right now. Another is just by phone. You can text us, much like you text your friend, 470-777-WANF. That's 470-777-9263. Here's the setup going the next week. Of course, we've laid out about how the fact, I should say, that we're going to have warmer, drier weather, at least to start. That doesn't mean it's the same story for the entire country. High pressure is going to develop. That's kind of, keeping the coldest of the air at bay, kind of locking it up to our north, ensuring a warmer and at least initially drier forecast. And cold air likely to remain north for at least the next 7 to 10 days. Cold air basically blocked. Not that there isn't cold. It's just being kept from filtering this far south and east, kept from filtering back into the southeast, into Georgia, and very specifically metro Atlanta. However, we may see this weather pattern change as we get into the second, third weeks of the month, mid to late February into the first bit of March. We could see this, shift around a bit, and as the pieces move around, the pattern may become more favorable once again for some of this cold to filter right back into North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Psycho Space Cadet, do you predict another record-breaking summer? I had thought that this was going to be a La Nina year, or will this still be El Nino weather pattern? We're in La Nina right now. Not the strongest of La Ninas. We kind of were in cold neutral, so close to neutral, but the Pacific waters west of South America, west of Peru, We're still cooler than average, and then officially now we are into La Nina, and it does look like at some point we will see this La Nina fade back into neutral, if not El Nino conditions. Again, pretty normal. Now, the rate at which this shifts back to El Nino is still a bit uncertain. With any luck during hurricane season, we've had a very active stretch of years, a very damaging, destructive hurricane season, especially along the U.S. Gulf Coast. With any luck, we'll see this transition back towards neutral or El Nino as we get into summertime, especially towards the latter part of summer. But we will be fine-tuning that forecast. So in a La Nina summer, we can have very hot and dry weather, especially to the west of Georgia across the southern plains. No, you're not confused. You're good to go. You're totally good to go. We throw a lot of terms at you. It's a lot to remember, and you're totally good. And a reminder that La Nina it can mean a couple of things and tends to impact. It does impact the U.S. very differently depending on where you are. But it does look like, the risk in any given La Nina of a hot and dry summer is greatest to our west across the southern plains, the mid-south. For us, it can kind of go back and forth a little bit, not as much of a correlation, but, it's Georgia. It'll be summertime. It'll be warm regardless, probably warmer than average, but no sure bet that we're going to have any extreme drought or extreme heat across the interior southeast. I would say the greater chance of that occurring might be to our south and then more so to our west as we get into summertime. In the near term, a little bit closer to home and closer to now, next 7 to 10 days, warmer than average. Mornings will be unseasonably mild. In fact, by the time we get to Wednesday morning, we're going to see the average temperature typical for this time of year in Atlanta, 54 or so, 55 by then. That will basically be our wake-up temperatures. We're going to wake up to temperatures that are more typical of afternoon highs by the time we get to Wednesday, with afternoon high temperatures, again, approaching records, maybe some upper 70s sprinkled in there, especially south side, and then initially dry, but eventually we're going to bring in a chance of rain. Right now, 20% chance, more clouds than anything else Wednesday. There is a chance of some rain Thursday, Friday, but that chance is greatest Thursday night, wee hours before the morning commute Friday. But if that timing shifts around, if the forecast trends wetter any one day, we'll give you the first alert weather day, give you the heads up that, hey, the weather could impact your plans, your commute. Right now, not there, but if there are any changes, we'll keep you updated. Streams like this one on ANET Plus, video updates like the one I'm about to record in the First Alert weather app, and, of course, on Atlanta News First. By the way, I'm going to join Joy Lim Nakarin tonight on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW. Latest news headlines, covering a lot of news today. Also, another check of the First Alert forecast. You can catch us again tonight on Atlanta News First, back on WANF at 11 p.m. If we don't catch you, you can join First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi tomorrow morning. We'll keep you updated, also, as mentioned, in the First Alert weather app as we go through the rest of this gorgeous weekend.